What's up, everybody? Welcome to Casa de Agnew. I am here in quarantine, and I just wanted to make a video really quick because I know that this weekend there has been some news that has been coming out, and a lot of your lives are changing, and the storm of Covid-19, it feels like wave after wave after wave keeps hitting you. The first one is that on Thursday, I'm sure that most of y'all know this, but I sent out an email saying that our summer mission trip is going to be canceled, or is going to be changing and looking different. We will not be going to Kansas City for the high school mission trip, and we will not be doing the C2K house for the middle school mission trip. We are hoping to still do some form of service project throughout the summer, but we just don't know what that looks like right now. And especially for the junior class, I know right now, like, this summer is supposed to be y'all's senior year summer, and a year that you get to have more leadership opportunities, a year that you get to really just invest in our trips. And I know that that's something that you have been looking forward to for years and years and years, and that's going to be looking different. And then yesterday we got the notice that all Texas schools, both public and private, all schools will be doing virtual learning for the rest of this semester. And for seniors, like, honestly, I can't even process how heartbroken most of y'all must be. Just this idea that for 13 years you have been working for this final chapter of graduating, and that's going to be looking different, and prom will be looking different, and sailing off into the sunset on your senior year. I am so sorry. I know that 8th graders, with this being y'all's last year of middle school, and you aren't able to fully just like say goodbye to all of your middle school friends now. There's a lot of things changing. And so I just wanted to make this video to let you know that we worship a God who reverses hopeless situations. Scripture is filled with story after story of God's people being in hopeless situations, and whenever it feels like they are at their very last step, God steps in and He calms this storm. So it can feel like we are in the middle of this storm and God just doesn't care. And there's actually a story in Mark chapter 4 where literally Jesus and His disciples were in a storm, and God calms that storm. And I know that y'all have probably heard this story a lot, but there's just a couple of verses in here, a couple of questions actually, that I wanted to highlight. So it says that the disciples woke Him up shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we are going to drown?" And then whenever Jesus woke up, He rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Silence, be still." And suddenly the wind stopped and there was a great calm. Right now, you might be wondering, God, don't you care that we are about to drown? Don't you care that people are dying? Don't you care that my dad lost his job? Don't you care that I'm not able to see my friends? Don't you care that our country is in this economic depression? Like, don't you care that we are about to drown? But I'm telling you that the God that we worship is the same God that woke up and that just spoke to these waves, spoke to the storm, and it calmed down. The thing about storms is that there is always a calm that precedes the storm. That storms are temporary. That waves are calm, the ocean is calm, the waters are calm, and then a storm comes. And then the storm brews up and waves hit and things get crazy. But what happens immediately after is that same calm that was before the storm comes back after the storm as well. And I know that this season right now feels crazy and feels like it won't end. And while the future will change and things will be looking different, the calm that came before the storm is going to come back after the storm as well. And the reason for that is because we worship the same Jesus that is able to have all authority over all creation and calm the very storms that we are in. So the passage ends with Jesus calms the storm, and then the disciples say to each other, "Who is this man? Even the wind and the waves obey him." And so the question that I want to ask you is, who is Jesus to you? The only way that we are able to get through the storm is by knowing who Jesus is. That if Jesus is just someone that we have a fringe relationship with, it's going to feel like this storm is going to knock you off of your boat. But if you know that Jesus has the power to calm the storm, that He will calm this storm, that the same Jesus that we worshiped on Easter, the same Jesus that defeated death, that brought new life to us for eternity and our lives here on earth, that same Jesus that we worship will calm the storm. Now, what I'm not saying is don't worry, be happy, God has got this. What the disciples do is in their worry and in their anger and in their confusion of their situation, they went to Jesus and they said, Jesus, don't you care? What I don't want anyone to do is just to let Jesus be sleeping on this boat. Let Jesus be so close to you, and you don't go to him with your anger and with your questions and with your confusion and with your anxiety. Because we need to take that first step to Jesus, and whenever we begin to ask those questions and express our doubt, express our unbelief, is whenever Jesus shows up and he calms the storm that we are in. And then he proves to us that he has got us, that he is our hope, that we do not need to doubt. What I don't want is for us to spend this quarantine time being isolated not just from each other, but also being isolated from God. I think that while this time is really, really hard, and honestly, it sucks, like I'm not going to lie, but don't just waste this time. Use this time to journal your thoughts with God. Use this time to write a bucket list of things that you want to do one day. Write out prayers to God. Write out prayers for other people. Write letters of encouragement to other people. Like, be productive. You still have purpose in this quarantine, and you have a purpose because you worship a God that has given you purpose, that still has a plan for you even in quarantine. And he will not let the storm that you are in right now let your boat sink. He will not let you drown. I promise you, if you go to him and if you give your questions and you give your emotions and you give your doubts and your anger to him, let him calm your storm. So I just want y'all to know that the entire staff loves y'all, that we want to be with you so much. We are actually going to send out a survey really soon, just kind of asking y'all's thoughts and y'all's feedback on virtual ministry. If you have been going through quarantine really isolated from your church community, we don't want that. And we will literally do anything that we can to help give you purpose and help give you hope and just kind of be a soundboard for you, like for your emotions and for your confusion or for your apathy. Like, we are here for you, and I know that it's different, and I know that it's hard, and that we don't know what the future is, but please, please don't go through this storm alone. Don't just be on this boat and not reach out to Jesus and let him calm the storm that is within you.